Hi, my name is Corey Goss, and I'll be giving you a quick introduction to the major SimVision windows. The main windows in SimVision are the design browser shown in the top left, the source browser shown in the top right, the waveform window shown below, as well as the console window, which we'll cover a little bit later on. The design browser is the main window users use to navigate through their RTL, or System Verilog code. For example, here on the left-hand side, I have the design browser hierarchy sidebar expanded out, and I can click on various RTL objects. And as I navigate down, you'll notice that the objects shown on the right-hand side change. The signal names are on the left, as well as the signal values at the current cursor time in the waveform window are shown. Icons indicate whether it's an input or an output, and you can filter based on interesting criteria down below. I can also navigate through my System Verilog test bench. Here I have an example of a UVM environment, and if I expand this down a little bit, you'll see that I have an APB environment with a master agent, and inside there I have a collector, a driver, and a monitor. Now when I click on the driver here, notice that you'll see all of the internal dynamic objects being displayed, and I can expand out, let's say, the config object here, and you'll see all of the subfields and all of their values. Now for each of these objects, I can also show all of the methods that are part of that object. And to find things more easily, you can always use the find box down at the bottom of the design browser hierarchy here and search for things. So if I wanted to find something like APB, I could easily just zip through the hierarchy that way. Let's take a closer look now at this driver. So I'm going to click on driver here, and I'll just click on the send to source button up top here, and this will send it over to our source browser. Now the source browser has a couple of key features here. The first is, notice that we have sidebars. These are a number of tabs that are available to the user, and you can simply just expand this out, and this really allows you to do two different things at once. So you can navigate the hierarchy while also looking at the source code, or you can take a look at all the files, for example, that make up your entire simulation, regardless of language. So this is a common concept across many of the major SimVision windows. This sidebar concept is used in the design browser, the source browser, as well as the waveform window. So let's collapse this out just to make things a little bit more compact. Now, up in the top window here, you'll see that there's a scope field. This shows you the full hierarchical path to the object, as well as a shorthand of a physical class object handle. This is the @10661_5. The shorthand can be used in describe commands and other commands to quickly access this object without the need to type the full path. Also, the files box at the top shows you the current file that you're looking at, as well as all of the related files if you click in the drop-down. Now, another thing to note here is if I wanted to quickly search for something in my file, what I can do is I can highlight a particular section of text, and then I can simply click this search key over here on the right, and then I can just navigate through my code looking for a match. Let's look down now here at the waveform window. So the waveform window is broken up into three kind of key areas. Notice also that we have the sidebar concept carried through to the waveform window, and we'll expand that out just to show you, but then we'll move that back to make room. Now names can be shown in either the signal name format or the full hierarchical path. You can also include the database, or you can include the fully qualified name if you're looking at classes. The cursor column is used to indicate the signal value at the current cursor time. So notice as I move my cursor around, you'll see these signal values changing. The waveform window here is used to view the values of all the signals transitioning over time. Now the last thing I'd like to cover in this window is notice these toolbars up here. These toolbars are fully customizable in all of the SimVision windows, so the user can click and drag and move around toolbars as they like, or what they can also do is they can click View, Toolbars, Customize, and then from there they can add items to and from each of the various toolbars. Notice that the toolbar is highlighted in the one that I'm operating on. Now the final thing that I'd like to show you is the console window. The console window is where users can turn to view all of their log file information, and also to execute commands on either the NCSim or the SimVision command prompt. I can also use the text search up here to search very quickly through items of interest.